Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Barb Fox, holistic veterinarian from Northeast Iowa. I want to thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel because I'm going to have a lot of great information not only on the vaccines but a lot of different animal care topics. So today I'm going to discuss what things are put into your animal's vaccines and why it's important to know this and why they're added. Most people think of a vaccine as just water and the killed virus or the disease particle, which is called the antigen. But there can be up to 22 different constituents or components to that vaccine that you're not even aware of, and most veterinarians aren't aware of. So let's start with the first ingredient, which is the obvious one, would be the antigen. This is the modified, killed, or inactivated virus or bacteria that causes disease and what we're trying to prevent. Now, the reason it's inactivated is so that when it's injected into your animal's body, it won't cause the disease you're trying to prevent. It also triggers the immune response to recognize this is something foreign or not necessary or even harmful in the body, so antibodies can be produced against that. Number two, adjuvants. And adjuvants, what are these? These are added to make the immune response stronger so that we can keep the amount of inactivated viral particles or bacterial particles reduced. Usually these consist of aluminum salts like aluminum hydroxide, aluminum phosphate, and others. These compounds are often what causes soreness or tenderness around the injection site, or a little warmness, a little inflammatory condition there. However, accumulation of aluminum over time can lead to autoimmune diseases in every organ system, or virtually any organ system. There is actually a condition called ASIA, ASIA, which is autoimmune syndrome induced by adjuvants. And if you go to the National Institute of Health's website, you can learn a lot of details about that. So it is a very real condition. So ASIA basically is an early or late onset autoimmune disease caused by aluminum. Number three on the list, stabilizers. And here we have sucrose, which is a simple sugar. But then we also have monosodium glutamate, or MSG, bovine and human serum proteins, and gelatin. A stabilizer basically preserves a vaccine's potency and keeps it from degradation. A lot of animals and people are allergic to gelatin, so this is one of the more antigenic type of components that is added to a vaccine. Number four on the list, we have preservatives. And these help the breakdown of the vaccine from fungus or bacteria. Common preservatives, unfortunately, are thimerosal. Thimerosal is a relative of mercury, and we all know how toxic mercury is in the body, so is thimerosal. Phenoxyethanol is also added. This is an alcohol. Both of these are very toxic in even small amounts. And a lot of vaccines today, I shouldn't say a lot, there are a handful of vaccines today that still have thimerosal in them. You can ask for a thimerosal-free vaccine, but your veterinarian may not want to order those. They are typically more expensive and a little bit harder to source. All right, so number five on the list is antibiotics and other antimicrobials. So what these do, obviously, is to keep the bacterial contamination down. Common additives are polymyxin B, neomycin, streptomycin, amphotericin B, and gentamicin. Now, any of these can induce allergic reactions quite quickly once they're injected. Number six on the list is animal proteins. So egg proteins, chicken embryo parts, cow and pig proteins, fetal calf serum. All of these are found as leftovers from the culture process of manufacturing a vaccine. Animals and people can develop allergies and autoimmune conditions from exposure to these animal components. And then number 7, I kind of grouped into kind of a generic category called other components. So polysorbate 80. This is an emulsifier, and an emulsifier helps keep the components from separating inside the vaccine. Formaldehyde, which is actually a byproduct of the manufacturing process. It is not added there for anything. It's just a leftover. But if you know what formaldehyde is, or for those of you who don't, I should say, formaldehyde is an embalming agent. It's a preservative, and it is very, very toxic. Like veterinarians, if they're taking off of a lump off of a leg on a dog, for example, they'll take that lump off and they'll drip it or drop it into a little vial of formalin, which is diluted formaldehyde. And even then, we have to mask and glove up, because if any of that solution is splashed into the eyes or comes in contact with the skin, it can be very toxic. Now, here's kind of a controversial thing, and I think we need to discuss this. Conventional veterinarians will often claim there's no correlation between vaccines and observed side effects unless an animal has a very sudden reaction, like collapsing, going into acute respiratory distress, the face swells up severely, immediate hives break out, explosive vomiting and diarrhea might be seen shortly after inoculation. And unfortunately, sometimes if an animal collapses, they don't come out of it. Also, most veterinarians have no idea what's actually in a vaccine. For one thing, it's not very transparent from the manufacturers what actually goes in that vaccine. I have to dig deep if I want to find those 22 different components. Nor do they know most of the time that an animal should not be vaccinated if it has any kind of health issue, including allergies, diabetes, autoimmune disease, cardiovascular issues, respiratory issues, cancer. The list goes on and on. In fact, the vaccine insert that the veterinarians are supposed to read before they pull out a vaccine and inject it says that this product is intended for immunization of healthy animals only. So how many times have you gone in, maybe Fifi's been not a little under the weather, maybe running a low-grade fever, and you want your shots done because you have to go to the groomer or the boarding facility or whatever. And unfortunately, if that animal that's sick is vaccinated, it can make that condition worse. And we're going to get into, in the next video, we'll talk more about reactions and who should be and who should not be vaccinated. Now, I talked about adjuvants and aluminum. Aluminum is a metal. Now, once metals are injected into the body, they're very difficult to get out. So the rebuttal from the manufacturer would be, well, there's such a tiny amount of aluminum in there. It's not going to make a difference. That might be true for the first or second vaccine. But if your animal's coming in every year for vaccines, that aluminum tends to build up in the body. So the cumulative effect of the aluminum is very dangerous. So in my next video, like I said, we're going to talk about different reactions that can occur after a vaccination and what to do about it, and talk about their severity, what a mild reaction looks like, what a very severe reaction looks like. So again, I want to thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So until the next time we meet, take care and stay on the natural path with you and your animals.